Hey, thank you all the panelists, Dr. Arun, Dr. Soumya, and also Smitha, Srivastava for joining. So let's get started with the introduction. By the time Srinivasan sir join as well, let's start with the introduction of Ms. Smitha Srivastava. Smitha, thank you so much for joining. Good evening, folks. Good evening, kids. Am I allowed to all the kids? Yesterday we had a fantastic science event, science activities. I'm sure all of you had fun. Okay, we had science activities in 13 schools in Bangalore, and we also had an online event. I'm sure all of you participated and and had a lot of fun. So this is Little Science Champ Part 2, wherein you're going to get to interact with the scientist, today and yesterday. Is it good to interact with the scientist so that you get the best knowledge from the right people, right? So I welcome you all, both the kids and also the parents who are part of this, webinar today, or discussion or interaction today. Thank you so much for joining. Let me introduce my panelists. So first, Ms. Smitha Srivastava. So Ms. Smitha is graduated from NIT Jamshedpur in Computer Science and Engineering, and she has done a MTech in Data Science from Amrita School of Computing. She's currently working as a scientist in DRDO, Bangalore. She's also pursuing her Ph.D. She's about to complete a doctorate in Cybersecurity and Text Analytics. So you can imagine the kind of personality that you have to ask questions. During her 20 years of experience in DRDO, she has participated in several projects for the armed forces. I'm sure you understand armed forces, the people who are, securing our borders, right? The armed forces. So she has done several projects to support the armed forces. I mean, her work involves from inception to deployment, and she has traveled, across various borders and also naval bases for installing, various, systems. Her research is mainly interested in software development for armed forces, specializing in database and middleware technologies. And she also has received numerous awards at DRDO, including she was nominated for the Best Scientist Award in the year of 2006. So I welcome Ms. Smitha Srivastava for this lovely evening. And thank you so much for joining. This is second year, Ms. Smitha Srivastava has been joining with us. We had the similar event last year. She was part of the panel last year as well, and when we approached her for this year, she accepted without giving too much of thought. Thank you so much for joining. And I know Smitha from almost a decade now. Whenever I speak to her, I get inspired. She is such a personality, and she's always with charm on her face, smile on her face, and helping kids and everybody to learn from her. Phenomenal leader, and she has been exceptionally performing at a role as a scientist in DRDO. Thank you so much, Smitha.
Thank you.
So the next panelist that we have is Dr. Arun Kumar G. Pandit. Dr. Arun Kumar has done his BSc in Agriculture, Masters and PhD in Agriculture Microbiology from the University of Agriculture Science, both from Dharwad and also from Bangalore. Dr. Arun Kumar is currently working with IISc in Civil Engineering Department. He is currently involved in Asia Pacific project, greenhouse gas emission from the paddy ecosystem, critical windows of water and gas diffusivity. I'm sure he should be able to help all of you understand lot of topics related to plants and maybe and civil engineering and also greenhouse as well. Thank you, Arun, for joining. Very young scientist. The moment I invited him, he readily accepted, and he said, "This is my privilege to interact with kids," and he's looking forward to talk to you and answer a lot of your questions. I welcome Dr. Arun Kumar G. Pandit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arun. So moving on, Dr. Soumya TM. I know Dr. Soumya TM from almost 3 decades. We both studied in the same school, that is Jawa Navodaya Vidyalaya Chitradurga. She was my senior, in fact. Okay, Dr. Soumya holds a graduation degree in agriculture science and MSc in soil solarization for weed management in groundnut, and a PhD in fertigation studies in tomato from GKVK, that is Agriculture Science University, Bangalore. Dr. Soumya is currently serving at the University of Agriculture Science and Agriculture and Horticultural Science, Shimoga, as head of All India Network on Tobacco. In her current assignment, she is mentoring PhD students in agronomy department, and also she is actively involved in research on tobacco, maize, groundnut on tomatoes. If you have a lot of questions on groundnut, tomatoes, on plants again, okay, so you are the right person who's doing a research, on these areas, right? So you can ask a lot of questions on that. Dr. Somya has also been very instrumental in organizing several, capacity building programs, including Krishi Melas. If you ever know the Krishi Mela, it's a massive event that happens once in a year, which kind of attract a lot of farmers to understand what are the developments happening in the area of agriculture. Okay, she's been instrumental, in kind of conducting such programs in Shimoga Agricultural Science University. I welcome Dr. Somya for this wonderful evening.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the very elaborative introduction.
Thank you so much for joining. As Srinivasan sir has joined.
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Okay, so last but not the least, the final panelist that we have is Mr. MS Srinivasan. Mr. MS Srinivasan is a graduate in BE Electronics from University Visvesvaraya College of Engineering, Bangalore, okay, which is known to be one of the famous college in Bangalore. Okay, Mr. Srinivasan was a group director, Ph.D. Rao Satellite Centre, ISRO, before he moved out of it in 2021. During his tenure in ISRO from 1985 to 2021, sir has guided and executed various satellite programs as design engineer, section head, division head, and group director for Power Systems Group. His group director of Power System was his last designation when he moved out when he retired in 2021, and he was instrumental in configuring new power electronic system for various scientific missions like Chandrayaan-2 orbiter, lander and rover, and also Aditya and human space program. I'm sure you heard of Chandrayaan-1, Chandrayaan-2, and a lot of information about satellite and ISRO. So sir is the best person to answer all the questions related to various space programs that underwent in ISRO, that was undergoing in ISRO. Sir, when you started working in ISRO, I was just 6-year-old. Maybe I just like one of these kids who are participating today. I'm sure they're fortunate to interact with such an eminent person like you, and to learn from you and to know a lot of information about an organization like ISRO and and satellite and space systems as well. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Dr. Srinivasan, and hello to all fellow panelists and the students. Very nice to participate along with students. Today, incidentally, we had UVCE has become an autonomous organization. Today, we had a 5K run. But today morning, I participated in that. A nice meeting all our alumni present and past students who came out of UVCE. Yeah, good afternoon to all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, Smitha and Somya and Dr. Somya and Dr. Arun, if you can introduce yourself quickly, if you can just talk about, I introduced you already, you can just quickly talk about what is it you're doing right at your current work, and how kids can benefit from your work, or kids can know more about your work. I think we can get started with that. Kids, wait for a couple of minutes. Once the introduction is over of all the panelists, we will let you in as a panelist as well, and wherein you can ask a lot of questions that you have to the panelist. Okay, I'm just waiting for let the introduction get over, then you can will be allowed inside to ask the questions. Thank you so much. Yes, Ms. Smitha, you would like to go next?
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Srinivas, for calling me here. It is a good opportunity always to talk to kids and interact, and means interaction session is good because you get to know a lot of questions, and sometimes these questions even surprise us that what is the depth of their understanding and how much they are curious about science and technologies. So it's always good to interact with kids, and welcome to all the panelists here. So we have honor to have Mr. Srinivas here, Dr. Soumya, and Dr. Arun Kumar is also there with us. So basically, as the Srinivas already introduced, that I'm from computer science background, and when I joined DRDO, so the basic task what I have been doing is like making the armed forces IT enabled. So like we use Gmail, we use all the laptops, computers, lot of software applications and all. So how to facilitate the basic armed forces, the Navy, Army, Air Force with such systems, so that all their processes and whatever they do on day-to-day basis, that can be automated, so that their cumbersome task which they used to do in 2, 3, 4, 5 days, that can be done in just click of a button. So to understanding their requirements and what problems they were facing, and to come up with some solutions and applications which will make their life easier. So that is what I have been working throughout my 20 years of life, and initially when we did all these, then we started collecting a lot of data. So now understand that we are into a world of AI, artificial intelligence. So this artificial intelligence was there when I also joined 20 years back and when I was studying in college, but we're not having that much of data to work on that. So now once we deployed the systems for these three forces, and then we started collecting a lot of data, and with the advent of all these IT infrastructure and all, now we could collect a lot of data and store. So then gradually we started moving towards doing data analytics, that what information we can extract from the data what we are storing. So that is what now currently my work is, that how to make the armed forces situationally aware of what is happening in and around them, so that they can know about the threats, the situations, what is happening in the real world in and around them, and how everybody can view the same picture. So we use some words like common operational picture and also, but to just be aware about what is happening in and around us, so that it helps them to protect us better. So that is what I have been working, and that is what I wanted to share.
Great. Thank you so much, Smitha. I think it's a good understanding of what you do. Okay, moving on to Dr. Soumya.
Yeah. Good evening, all. It's a great privilege to be here. That too with eminent scientists like Dr. Srinivasan sir, Smitha ma'am, and Dr. Arun again. Though he's from same field, I never knew that is here. It's a great opportunity to be with you first, and then definitely, as ma'am was telling, it's a thrilling event to be with these kids. That too, between 2 to 6, it's not an easy job to talk to them. Yeah, because I've been teaching these students of adolescents, like college-going kids are taught by me, but talking to these kids is a challenge, really. Anyway, doing this motivational talks for school kids, I have a little experience of talking to them, but again, in spite of that, I have so much of tension within me because I don't know what they ask. Coming to my arena of work, I work on flue-cured Virginia tobacco. As we know, there are 12 types of tobaccos. We feel that tobacco means only one tobacco. It's not so. There are 12 types like cigar, hookah, chewing, snuff, BD, and the last one which came was cigarette. These different types of tobaccos are different with respect to their cultivation and their farm, everything, and ultimately curing. These green plants are of no use with respect to tobacco. Only we treat after treating them, means curing is the process. Only after curing they are of some use. So I work on cigarette tobacco, that is flue-cured Virginia or Virginia tobacco, which is grown only in 2 places in India, that's in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. These are exported to different countries, and it gives us huge amount of huge money, like national exchequer is huge with respect to tobacco cultivation. As soon as we hear the term tobacco, we should not feel that it is bad only. There are several other advantages of having tobacco with us, like it's a best medicine for many of the problems. It serves as a medicine for many health issues, and then it is a best pesticide several times. So like that, I've been working with this tobacco since 6 years. Before that, I was with extension. I was an extension personnel in the university. Otherwise, from past 6 years, I'm with FCV tobacco, and addition to that, maize, tomatoes, and groundnut. These are my crops of interest, where I guide or mentor these MSc and PhD students on these crops with respect to different aspects of these crops, like maybe having the additional crop with the main crop and nutrients, pest, whatever, like many of the things are taught on these crops. So today, I think let us interact on plants also, along with robots and ISRO scientists and other things. Even plants are also in the picture today. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Soumya. Thank you so much. And that's wonderful to know about your work. I'm sure kids will already preparing their questions. Good. Dr. Arun?
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Actually, it is very great opportunity for me to be in the panelist along with already well-established established scientist. I'm just beginning my career now. Coming to my specialization is I work in the area of agricultural microbiology, and as we know, the microorganisms are the causes of the plant diseases. But there are microorganisms which give benefits to the plants, and we are interested in those kinds of microorganisms which help the plants to sustain in herbatic stresses like drought and salinity. And that was my area of specialization in PhD study. And later on, I got an opportunity to join IISc in the Asia Network project, that is a greenhouse gas emissions from paddy ecosystem. And in Glasgow summit, there was a lot of issues going on greenhouse gas emissions, and there was like you can say complaint on Asian countries, South Asian countries, that since we are growing paddy on a large area, we are mostly becoming a source of greenhouse gas emissions to the world. And it is estimated that 11% of greenhouse gases emissions are through agricultural fields, that too mainly paddy fields. Now my task is to estimate exactly how much of greenhouse gas is emitted by the paddy field in all agronomic practices, and show that exactly what level of greenhouse gases are emitted and what is being projected that is not true. So we are swimming against a stream. So we have to wait and see how can we prove that our agricultural practices are better than whatever the Western countries are imposing on us.
Great. Thank you, Arun. Thanks for joining. And it's good to know about your work. It was also enlightening for us to know that yes, there was a complaint and Asian countries on the paddy. So this is something like a news that we are hearing. Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good. So anybody else, any other panelists would like to say last few words for yes?
Hello, when Dr. Srinivasan called last week, we'll have a session with tiny tots. I was really very happy to. I immediately agreed. And I joined ISRO in 1985. At the time, ISRO was just building satellites along with the cooperation of Russia and France. We just launched in 1975 for Aryabhatta first satellite with the help of Russians. Then once I joined, we went into operational phase. So all our INSAT two types of series of satellites were started as recruited for that project. Then remote sensing satellite. So we have several applications, and when our Vikram Sarabhai, who is the father of the space program, when he started, he told India should be second to none in the application of advanced technology to the real problems of man and society. So that was the motto with ISRO started there. And subsequently, we have been using satellites for extensive purposes, both for communication, agriculture, water, fishery, wasteland, satellite communication, satellite navigation, meteorology, natural disaster, teleeducation, telemedicine, biological resources, etc., etc., etc. So we can have a full session. Some other time we can have a PowerPoint with all capabilities. How ISRO is helping India to become number 6 in the satellite. I mean, the world. It's comparable to, in fact, 1969 when Americans landed personal man on moon. We just launched a small satellite from our Tumba rocket launch facility, RS-200 from Trivandrum. Now, Americans are coming to India to launch their satellites. In fact, 2 months back, we launched 36 satellites, Starlink satellites for their internet. Now, presently, they are in Srivastava to launch another 36 satellites that completes the Starlink satellite constellation. So, and particularly this Corona time, India was second to none in using the technology to have schools. See, the country was in lockdown. Because of technology, we could have classes. Now, whatever today we are having, it was demonstrated in 20 minutes itself, and children could virtually get into classes, learn everything. So technology was available at the time. So that was made possible by ISRO through making it through having satellite communication. Subsequently, once we hear from students, we can answer. Very interesting to have Ms. Smitha, Arun Kumar, and Soumya also as fellows. Look forward to interaction with the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with how ISRO has been helping the entire country as a whole, right? Yes, we are aware of the satellite, but other areas, I think that's something like enlightening for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. Now, kids, what we'll do is you can raise your hand. We're going to let you become a panelist, where you can unmute yourself. You can come on the video and you can ask questions. Okay, we already have some hands going up, so we are promoting you as a panelist. So kindly unmute yourself and ask the questions. Whoever whoever want to ask question to any of the scientists, you just need to raise your hand. We're going to make you as a panelist, and you can ask your questions. Yes, a lot of kids already become panelists. Would like to ask some questions. Yes, you can be. So you can unmute yourself and ask questions. This is your chance to ask questions to scientists. It's good to ask question to scientists. You can ask in Hindi as well. You can ask in Kannada as well. Some of the panelists know Kannada.
Ask. Yes, welcome in Kannada, English, anything.
Yes, Agni, yeah.
What is Starlink satellite?
What is?
Can you repeat?
Starlink satellite.
Starlink satellites. See, now you're using a mobile and a computer now. So you know how it works. It requires internet. So Starlink satellite is a set of satellites launched from UVCE. It's a private enterprise where they're able to provide satellite communication at a lower Earth orbit. So our InSat satellites, you would have heard, InSat and GeoSat satellites, they are at 36,000 kilometers where they'll be positioned over India and they'll be able to communicate. That's at a very high height. There are very few satellites. Whereas these Starlink satellites are constellation for some nearly 3,600 satellites at about 200 to 300 miles above the Earth. So they'll be able to provide satellite communication through which you are able to access internet. Presently, Ukraine and Russia war is going on now. Ukraine was totally cut off from the rest of the world. They could keep in touch with the world using by using the internet provided by Starlink satellites. It's another type of satellite communication where the number of satellites are there, but they are very close to Earth. Their life also will not be long. They'll be last for about 5 to 6 years. Whereas satellites which we launch, they work for 15 years. They are at a geostationary orbit. I mean, you may not be able to understand, but they are very 36,000 kilometers away from Earth. Whereas these satellites will be around 400 to 500 kilometers. They'll be going around Earth, and all parts of Earth will be communicated. So you can talk to anybody, you can see anybody anywhere in the world. They're in Australia, they can be there in Africa, Europe, America, India, anywhere. They can access internet using these satellites. I hope it has answered your question.
You have, yes sir, no. The few things you will not understand, I will explain you, but whatever he told, you understand, right? Like how internet is working, that's what he is telling. Do you have any
Thank you, Neil. Thank you for that question. So nice to see you as well. Okay, anybody else? Your chance, kids, to ask questions. Yes, we have so many panelists. So many of you become panelists already. Like to go next. Yes, we have to unmute yourself and ask questions. Yes, Shivallabh.
Why?
You can also type your questions in case if you want to. We'll ask the questions to scientists.
Rainbow has 7 colors.
Yes,
This
Shivallabh.
question
Yeah,
This
go ahead,
question is
please.
why rainbow has 7 colors.
Sorry, come again.
Why rainbow has 7 colors? His question is.
Why rainbow has 7 colors? Yes, any of the scientists like to take up this question? I know this is maybe out of syllabus for all of you, but still not from your main field of work. Yes, anybody would like to answer this question?
Yeah, see, you know white color? It's called Vibgyor. There are 7 colors: violet, indigo, blue, yellow, orange, red. You see now. So if you go to school, they will show a prism. So if you pass light through prism, you can see if you project it on the wall, you can ask your teacher. Actually, I will be able to. I have a prism also. I cannot demonstrate because sunlight doesn't fall where I am sitting. It is formed. White color is made out of 7 colors. It splits into 7 colors, and you get the Vibgyor. That's called white color. Consists of all the 7 colors. So if you have a prism, you can show it. I think his parents or teachers should be able to demonstrate to the child how that 7 colors are formed when you pass light through a prism and project it on a white surface or wall.
Yes, yesterday we demonstrated this during the science online event. There'll be video updated on our Skoolz page. I'm sure you should be able to look at it. There was an assignment given as a last piece of activity. So how 7 colors combination put together will form, will become white color. Yes, Dr. Arun, you'd like to answer that as well?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I can make it a bit more simple, I think.
Yeah,
The cute name, please. Agni, right?
No, Vallabhbhai.
Vallabh, you and your friends, suppose 7 of your friends are going in a straight line, one behind the another, towards your teacher. What your teacher can see is only you, who is coming in the in front. Okay, so these 7 colors are merged together when it is coming from the sun. So when it passes through the water droplets of rain, and there is a phenomenon called refraction. So all your 7 friends lands will be coming in the same land, they will be separated. So now you are coming as by side. Okay, so that's why you see all the 7 colors when it is when you see the sunlight after the light showers. Otherwise, if there is no showers, then you can like all the colors are coming in a straight line.
Great. I think that's fantastic explanation. I think that's I'm sure
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Arun. Okay, good. Anybody else? Yes, kids, it's your chance to ask questions. Yes, Alicia.
Ask what you want to ask.
Yes, Samruddhi. Yes, Samruddhi.
Yes, actually yesterday you had activity at the end, right?
Okay.
So the color activity. So that color activity we have tried it. Actually, what cardboard color we are putting? Like you said, like white color it will come, but our circle color is something like orange. So we are getting the brown color one. So is it like something we have missed, or this is the color thing we have tried it?
Okay.
So when we doing this, some different color is coming.
Maybe the pattern, the exact color combination has to be same.
Exact color combination is missing.
Yes, you can send me this WhatsApp message. You can send the video. I'm going to connect you with the Trupti and team, and I should be able to get the answer.
Yeah, sure. Because while we doing for a kid, we are getting their attraction to color it and doing this thing, but most of the activity without parents help they can't do it. So I wish some activity if they can drive and do, it will be helpful for them to.
You can send us a WhatsApp message. You can send a WhatsApp message. We're going to connect you to the right institute where they can help you with these further activities.
Just to help the kids, this is the prism. See, if you pass light through one surface, other surface, if you have a paper or something projector, you will see the 7 colors. This either school teachers or if the parents, if they have a prism like this is a glass where due to refraction it spreads it to, as our Arun Kumar told, it reflects and you will get the 7 colors. This is the prism.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing the prism as well. How entered this field, sir? Your own interest. Okay, Srinivasan sir, there's a question for you. Okay, how did you enter this field? And it's probably the question is about like ISRO, and how did you develop this interest to join ISRO and work in this field?
Yeah, actually, I did my engineering in electronics. One of the subjects was communication, and in our family already many were there. Actually, when we passed out, there were no IT jobs. There were no software jobs are not there. Either people are going into banks or school teachers. That's all. Not many are civil and mechanical. They had some projects. Whereas ours was electronics and communication. So I was very eager to do something in communication. And in our third year, we had gone to ISRO tour project. We had to visit some places. So it was really interesting to see how satellite can help in communication and help people. And people would have heard of Rakesh Sharma, who was the first astronaut. I mean, they were not born those days. So next year we have our own human in space. We are launching our own person into space. It would happen last year itself because COVID it got delayed. First, we are going to put a humanoid which will emulate a person. So these are very interesting. So students can get into science and regular software jobs. Electronics is very, very interesting. They can learn lots of things, and you have a lot of freedom in ISRO. Whatever you want to do, any experiment, nobody stops you, and you can do your own things. And it's a very interesting field. When they grow up, I can tell for other people how to get into ISRO. We have our own Institute of Space Technology where they can pass the JEE exam and get into ISRO.
Great, sir. Good to know about your journey. And I think the short answer is, sir went to ISRO as part of their project tour, and he got inspired, and went on to become the ISRO person for long duration. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the insights. Yes, we have some more hands going up. Yes, Ayansh, there is a question in the chat as well. What are the main parts of satellite?
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Ayansh. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Satellite is similar to a human being. Actually, I was involved in power system. So all of you need food, no? See, daily when you get up in the morning, after you brush your teeth, you have milk, you have breakfast, you have lunch, dinner, like that. So you need energy. So my job was to provide the satellite the energy required. I can show you a model of a satellite where when you go out in space, we have a solar panels to generate the power, and we store the energy in the battery. So we, like in your house also, you'll be having a battery, no? Your mobile has a battery, your house has a UPS, your torch, anything. You can't live without battery. So like that, the energy is power system. What you hear is communication, is through ears and eyes, what you see. Like that, it's equal to a person. When you have mobility, you have hands and legs. Like the satellite also will be having antenna to, it will be deployed in orbit. Until a control system, like your brain is the control system in the satellite. And all your hearing and seeing is communication. And what you talk is you communicate to the earth. So it is equivalent to that. So it will have a thermal system. So you were close to keep yourself warm in winter, or some cotton things in summer. Like that, thermal system is required. You need a communication, you need a power system, you need a brain control system, you need mechanisms like your hand, you can move up and down like this, all these things. So it's equal to a human being in space where we can't do anything. Once you launch it, it has to work for 5 to 15 years. So we have to make it fail proof, and the power system is very much essential. So our job is to ensure always in a house also, if you have a power file, you cannot to do in this talk, you cannot do Zoom talk. So you have to ensure uninterrupted power throughout the mission life of 15 years. So our job is to ensure that always the satellite power is generated, stored in the battery, and whenever it's required, an eclipse or any peak load, battery will support. So like that, other systems are there, which is analogous to a human being in a satellite.
Great, sir. I think that's the simplest answer, that we can, get from, a person like you, comparing entire satellites to, human, right? Fantastic answer. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, and, Alisha.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
To be say my question is
My question is,
uh-huh.
sun and moon face in the sky.
This question is why sun and moon say
Why sun and moon
you can see
both in the sky?
sometimes he can see sun and moon both in the sky, so he was asking a question why we can see that, so he wanted to ask you this question.
Okay, see, when you go out in the evening, night, but incidentally this week you would have seen both Saturn and Neptune together side by side. No, so there are different. Our solar system, sun is the star. When you see so many stars in the sky, they are all very, very far away. So we are part of this solar system where there are 9 planets. Now, in my Pluto is dwarf planet, which are going around the sun. During the day, the sunlight is very, very powerful. You cannot see the moon. In the evening, when the sun is setting, or early morning when sunrise happens, you will see the moon also. Moon is the natural satellite to Earth. So when you talk about satellite, no, there are artificial satellite, whereas moon is the natural satellite of Earth. It's going around Earth every 30 days. Earth is going around sun every 365 days in 1 year. So sometimes you will see the sun in the evening because when the sunlight is not very, very sharp. Evening or morning you will be able to see. Otherwise, it's too bright, you cannot see the sun. And one caution I will say, eclipse time, don't look at the sun. Or any time looking at the sun is bad. People should not look at the sun, particularly eclipse time. You will concentrate more and you can spoil the eyes. So the caution people have to take.
Great, sir. That's fantastic, sir. I think but I also had this question. I also saw sun and moon together. I was wondering, how did it happen? I answered my question. Yes, Alisha.
Mama, what is this?
Okay, there was one question for Dr. Soumya.
In this space, why don't we get air in this space?
Why don't we get air in the space? Is that your question?
Her question is why there is no oxygen in outer space.
Why there's no oxygen in outer space? Okay, I would like to answer this. Dr. Soumya would like to answer this. Dr. Aaron.
Aeroplanes and me, it's far.
Yes.
Okay.
I think sir has to help me in this. Srinivasan sir.
Yeah, you have all these planets are there. No, only on Earth we have life. See, on other planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other Venus, we don't know whether life is there. Only on Earth we have oxygen to breathe and water for food.
Which question?
So now that is for the atmosphere, right? So we have atmosphere. Once you go up, in fact, when you go to last year I went to Ladakh, where when you go above and above, oxygen goes on reducing. That's why people carry oxygen tanks on the back when they go up. So when you go away from Earth, oxygen goes on reducing. Because we have oxygen in plenty, hydrogen, all these things are there, gases are there. We have atmosphere able to live. So that's the question, or
yeah, that's the question, sir. Actually, it's I think I don't know whether correct me if I'm wrong. Since we have plants in the Earth, so we have oxygen.
We have life on Earth.
So no oxygen.
For the agriculture also, we need nitrogen and all.
Yes.
One more thing I wanted to add. Her name, please.
Alicia.
Yes. Yeah, Alicia. If you apply perfume to you, and how far the fragrance goes? Maybe in your room or in your home.
आपको परफ्यूम लगाए तो अब कितने दूर जाता है?
Smell कितना दूर जाता है? Suppose say a room. Okay. Now the plants are producing the oxygen on the Earth surface, and Earth has a gravity. So due to gravity, all the air molecules have some mass, so all are attracted towards the Earth surface. So we know the atmosphere is divided into different layers, and the 90% of the atmosphere is concentrated in the first layer due to gravity. And as we move above, as we move high in the altitude, the gravity reduces, and the air molecules, the number of air molecules also reduce. So suppose say now on the surface we have 100 molecules. Out of 100 molecules, we have 21 molecules of oxygen. Now, if we go higher in the altitude, we have only 20 air molecules. So, proportionately, the oxygen molecules will reduce. Now, on surface, our surface level, 21 molecules of oxygen will get. In high altitude, we'll get only 2 molecules. So, as we go high in the altitudes, due to gravity, the air mass is concentrated on the Earth's surface, and the oxygen levels decreases as we move high in the altitude.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Arun. I think that's a fantastic answer. My simplest answer was no plants, no oxygen.
Yes.
I think that's a Srinivasan answer as well. Thank you so much.
No,
yeah.
I got Mr. Srinivas, I got confused. Why I passed this question was there is a question in the chat. How do aeroplanes fly? I thought it's not my question.
No worries.
Okay.
You'll get a lot of other questions as well. Yes, sir. The next question was how aeroplanes fly.
For me only they asked. I don't know.
No. This question is for Srinivasan, sir.
Just like birds, how birds fly. Wind flows and they lift their body, and sir will answer in detail, but I'll give my answer. Just like birds with the the lift that is created, if the sufficient lift is provided, definitely it will move. There will be some differences in the creation of that wings. That wings, they'll help these airplanes to fly in the air. It's because we have seen birds also have a boat-like structure in their body, and they'll help to fly in the air. Just like that, in the same pattern, how the birds fly, it is made or it is created. Man-made birds, metallic birds.
Just get a model of one second. I'll just come back. I'll get a model.
Sure, sir. That will be awesome. Yes, we also have Smitha from DRDO. Any question that we have about any of our armed forces, guns, bullets, okay, all the weapon system that our army uses, you have the right person to ask those questions. Yes, you can raise your hand and unmute yourself, and you can ask a question. Anybody in the
all of you regarding the airplane, all of you have played with your kite, no? How does the kite fly? So you have a big area surface, and you take it against the wind, and wind should be favoring where fly will go up. Whereas this is a model. I did not get an airplane model. I got a model of our rocket, which looks like a airplane. This is a reusable launch vehicle because it looks like airplane. Just bought it. So as Ms. Soumya told, the airplane will be looking like this. It will be having 2 wings, and these are fins. So with this, you will when they take off, you need a speed. Like even a kite cannot fly now. Just you have to run, then only fly will take off. Like that, there will be engines here. They will start the engine, and slowly the wheels will be there. It will run away. And when the velocity increases above some level, the airplane goes up. Then once it goes up, using these fins, the airplane is made to control. There will be other mechanisms to look at the ground stations on Earth, and the pilot who is sitting at the front will be able to guide the airplane and take it to the.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for showing that model as well, so that I'm sure it would have helped our kids to learn more. Okay, good. So anybody else? Now, the kids who are now attendees, and you just need to raise your hand if you have a question. I'll move you to the panelist, then you can unmute your video and audio and then ask the question. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Srinivasan sir, maybe Smitha, you can answer this question. What's the next thing for Indian Army? How is Indian Army is enabled to counter China?
Yeah, anybody else want to answer? Yeah, Smitha is the best person, I think. I can add up. Says I can supplement if required.
Yes, Smitha, this is for you.
So how Indian Army is ready to fight China, right?
Yes.
So first thing is that what we talk about is that we are more courageous, right? So it's not about just the weapons and the ammunitions what we have. It is about what guts or what we have inside, right? So the most important thing what Indians have, that they are more dedicated and they can do anything for their country, right? That's how we are like peacefully sitting here and talking and chit-chatting, right? Because somebody is there to take care of us. So we have a group of people who we call as armed forces. They are ready to do anything and everything for us. So that's how we are sure that even if we don't have proper arms or ammunitions, we'll be able to fight any battle with anybody, whether it is China or Pakistan or anybody. And on top of that, we have a lot of agencies now. So we have ISRO, which provides us with all the satellite service and all, so that we know that what is happening where. So we can see the things, the monitoring part and everything. And once we monitor or we find that something is happening, then we have agencies like DRDO and all, and we provide like services where we can fire our weapons and other things. So there is a lot actually happens in the background, but the agencies like ISRO, DRDO, they all work together to see the things, what is happening, and then to counterattack the things, what is happening there. So with the advancement of technology and with more of people knowing about DRDO, ISRO and other agencies, so a lot of good people, and they all like, I was also once like sir told that 85 he joined. So I remember that I was in class 1 that time, 1985. So it all started there, that the dreams and all, that you can join armed forces and you can help the nation to be a strong nation in front of all the other adversaries and everything. So it all starts from there. So the science and technology, it's like us who are very now the opportunity. So when I think I was in class 1 or 2, I was not given this opportunity, but now it's very good that Srinivasan and other people, they are calling us, and at least kids of the age of 6 years, 7 years, they are getting to know that what science and technology can do for their country, and they can come up with such questions. So it's all about the together dedicated effort from so many people, which keeps India very strong and like a strong country, I can say. Okay, so
thank you so much. Thank you.
If you can supplement, I would like to add something.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
For the children, see, you are having lots of friends now. So how do you ensure they don't fight with you? So if you are powerful, they will not fight with you. So India is having a very big coastline. So it's a very long coastline now. So we're having dedicated satellites for Navy, dedicated satellites for Army, dedicated satellites for aircraft. So with this, we're able to always monitor what is happening in Pakistan, what is happening in neighboring China. We also use it for peaceful process, also to ensure that others don't trouble us. So once you have the capability with us, they don't trouble. See, what I can show you a rocket here. The missile will be similar to this. So we are having intercontinental ballistic missiles where we can launch from India to Balasore. There is in Orissa, like a Srikota launch pad is there in our Tamil Andhra Pradesh border, close to Madras. Balasore, we have Orissa, where we test all these Agni, Prati, all these missiles, BrahMos. So we have all these missiles which are called intercontinental ballistic missiles. Anywhere in the world, if anybody threatens, we can launch this. Actually, it will look like this. This is not a missile; it's a rocket. It look like this, and here the warhead will be there. And India also a nuclear power nation. So they know they will not trouble us because they know we are powerful. We can hit back with them. And always we using satellites. We are looking at what is happening. We are having radar imaging satellites. In fact, next year we are launching a satellite along with NASA. It's called NISA, where any weather we can look at any part of the earth using radar technology. So even if cloud cover is there, And recently you would have heard America shut down a balloon that whereas we are having satellites which is always looking at Earth, and we are having very powerful satellites where we can read the number plate of a scooter. Let's say today scooters are there, tomorrow scooters or half an hour or later our scooters come. We can see that movement and say somebody has put the scooter bomb or whatever it is, an unwanted thing there, and we can take corrective action. So satellite monitoring is there. So they know China and Pakistan will not trouble us because they know we are powerful. We are empowered to take any aggressor to task. So that's how ISRO is helping our armed forces also to safeguard our nation.
Thank you so much, sir. So one side we have DRDO, one side we have ISRO. So we all can actually sleep peacefully. Thank you so much. I think that's so much, enlightening for all of us to know how both ISRO and DRDO has been contributing to secure our borders. So the next question, do we have any robots in the war field? So this goes to, I think, Smitha, the robots in war field. That's a question that we have.
So actually, robots are something which is going to replace human being, right? So anything, now I think I got one news that in a school, some international school, one robot is teaching students also, right? So similarly, we are also planning to have a lot of robots for especially this surveillance purposes. And this robots, when we talk about robots, we feel that they will look like human. But when we talk about these drones, so sir can just correct me if I'm wrong, Srinivas sir, that even we talk about these drones also, they are also robots because we can make any shape, any size, any altitude they can go. So they are also a kind of robot which helps us in doing the surveillance part where as a human, I cannot go and do the things. And it is dangerous for human to go because it is life-threatening for human. So what we do, we create a lot of drones and all, which goes and does the surveillance part, especially at the border area. And to add, we have these radars, what sir was talking about. So a lot of radars are there, which does this surveillance, which is fitted into a lot of aircrafts and also which takes a lot of pictures and does. And now the drones are equipped with warhead, what sir was talking about, that they have this ammunition also with them. So if required, these drones can have the payloads and they can do surveillance as well as they can do the attack part also.
Great.
Yeah,
that's awesome answer.
That's nice. In fact, I would request the parents to take children to see the movie Uri, Surgical Strike. See, if any of you have seen, it wouldn't have happened without capability and support of ISRO, where
Absolutely.
as Smitha was telling, the drones were used to eavesdrop what is happening in the rooms of Pakistan, where we could do surgical strike. We could pinpoint where the terrorists were sitting and hit them. And coming to this use of drones, another major thing is the mines. See, when somebody occupies a place, they will plant mines that's like a bombs on the surface. If somebody stamps onto that soldier can get killed. So we are having equivalent to drones or robots, which will go first, which will detect whether there are any mines are embedded in the on the soil and neutralize them. Then soldiers can safely cross over the border or whichever area mines are put and detect those things. So they are now human being. We should not lose. We should use technology to detect all unwanted things and take corrective action. That's all happening.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. The next question is why tsunami comes and what is meteor happen? I think it's all about how does meteor happen or something like that. So would like to take this question, why tsunami comes?
Tsunami, I think I'll help a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Tsunami, it's because of a natural disaster that happens near the ocean or below the water source. Like because of very long waves or the disturbances that are created, like how we experience earthquakes or the volcanoes that we hear about. Those things, they happen even beneath the sea also. They will create and suddenly they will come out of from their real source and they get explode. So that will cause tsunami. Maybe like as Dr. Arun gives a simple example to kids, even I try to make it a point here. A kid sitting in a tub, water tub, and if they create some disturbances, that definitely this water splashes away. Like that, even when it splashes with a high intensity, it creates a spilling to larger area. Likewise, whenever there is disturbance, natural disasters near the sea or under the sea, definitely this tsunami comes over there. Meteors, I think someone else can take.
Great. That's an awesome analogy to giving it a bathtub and tsunami. Okay. Yeah. I'd like to go ahead, Meteor. Dr. Arun. Go ahead. Yeah, Dr. Arun, you can. Dr. Arun?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I will add a 1 point to Soumya madam's explanation. If a kid takes his or her Maggie bowl and fill completely with the water and try to shake slightly, so they can absorb the water more slightly. If they shake it vigorously, like sudden shaking, then definitely they can see the water spilling out. That what exactly happens in tsunami. You are taking the bowl of water now and imagine the sea as a bowl of water. So much quantity of water, suddenly it is shaking. Why? Because there is an earthquake within the sea. There is a shaking so that the whole water mass is disturbed. So the waves rises and destroys everything. And coming to the meteor, like Earth, what is Earth? Earth is a mass of say soil, okay, soil, rocks, and everything. So why it has formed? Because over the years it has accumulated the mass, so it is now in this shape. In outer space, there are some smaller masses which are not formed fully like Earth. Like it is like kids now. So they are moving in the space, like you people are playing in the ground. They are also moving. So suddenly some of that one enters into the atmosphere. So what will happen if someone unknown is entering into your home compound? So you will shout at them. So exactly that is happening in the atmosphere. Whatever the object is coming inside the Earth, the atmosphere will resist that one. Due to resistance of the atmosphere, it started to burn. It develops a heat and it start to burn, and you can see the burning ball is coming down. I think
that's awesome. I think it's great to hear from scientists always, because you guys make it so simple. Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Arun. I think that's a wonderful
You see the meteor showers. When they enter the Earth, they get burnt. That's how when it breaks, when the meteor enters Earth's atmosphere, there will be huge temperature, it burns. That's how you will see the meteor showers in the sky. So you can see in the paper they'll be reporting. And this way, it happens sometime in August and all. And this they'll say, you can see evening if you see a northeast direction or southwest direction, the shower of meteors going. They will slowly burn, and in fact, some of them survive also. Some of the museum they keep these meteor rocks also. Somebody can go and see, like this volcano rocks, meteor rockets, asteroids, comets. They whichever survive the high temperature, they fall on the earth. They are all precious things. So students can go and see in a museum these meteor rocks also.
Great, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So again, the next question is how AI is used in daily life. This is for Smitha.
Yeah.
How artificial intelligence is used in daily life.
So how AI is used in daily life. Intelligence we use in daily life, but I have to answer about how AI is used in daily life, right? So we are making systems which can perform like human, right? So you will be having at home Google, Alexa, Siri. Have you seen in your parents' phone or something you have called Siri app, where you talk to her and say, call daddy, call mama, and they call for you. You can ask them that, hey, Google, so play some songs for me. So they do some songs. So they recognize your voice like how your mama will do for you. Same thing. Now we have made the instruments to act like humans. So artificially we are giving them intelligence to work on. Okay. Then you go on ride. and you don't know the location. So you ask Google to give you the path, that what is a good path where traffic is not there or something. So that is one example. Then we have now a lot of this small IoT based devices where we can put alarms. You can ask Google to put alarms for you, send reminders to you. So all those things are like day-to-day AI examples which we use, right?
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Dee. I think that's wonderful to know.
The latest one is the Chat GPT. I don't know how it will.
Chat GPT, yes.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, there's two,
Yeah.
but students will be able to catch up with those things and ask questions that will help. And AI, the police people are extensively using to catch people who are jumping signals, traffic violations, and all that.
Yes.
And they're
So
using
now they
AI
have a big time using it. Yes.
Big time, yeah.
I think are the kids know what is AI?
Yeah, they're asking questions.
No, they have NI, that's why they can ask AI. Natural curiosity, NC.
Yeah. Recently, there was a news that Chat GPT also failed in a UPSC examination.
It is continuously learning. In fact, we are using the AI in satellite ISRO also to learn and predict a failure by looking at the failures of other things.
Other things.
So,
Yes.
in fact, what a human being can do, 99% we are able to improve it manually without tiring. It works 24/7, whereas human being 95, you will have a coffee break, lunch break, and all that. Whereas we are using the technology in detecting our failures. In fact, I will just show how we are using AI. I will tell. This is a satellite model. You are seeing this. This is a solar panel. In fact, there will be more than 10,000 cells on this panel. It is humanly impossible to know whether there is any crack, whether welding is proper, whether any fingerprints are there, everything. We are using AI to find out if were there any mistakes during fabrication, whether somebody dropped it, whether any cell is broken, whether the weld is proper, everything. So we are getting now it is continuously learning. Every time you use the new technology, AI is the biggest advantage of AI is it self-learns and improves its own capability, and it can predict this is not, this can be lived with, it doesn't affect, or this needs to be replaced, and this can be improved like that. That itself gives the solution. So we are using AI extensively in ISRO also last 5 years. Already we are using.
Great.
And
So I think
the other example is your self-driving cars.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about
Tesla.
self-driving cars. So self-driving cars. So these are the examples of AI where they learn from their mistakes. So like how we learn, how a kid learns. Similarly, the system also learns from their mistake and the rewards what we give it to them.
Great.
I would like to add a small thing. One of my nephews, he just my grandnephew, I would say, he's just a 1-year-old boy. His mother uses a mobile phone and she uses her fingerprint to open and plays music. Recently, we gave her a toy mobile to him. He was trying to find out where is this button. He's just 1-year-old boy. He wanted to change the music and press that like that. So they are also learning. So it's a continuous evolution. So now we are making the machines do these things by what a human being can do. That machines are taught to do it.
Great, sir. Thank you so
This is
much.
also example of AI, that hand recognition, facial recognition, that your phone opens with your face coming up. So all those are examples of AI only in day-to-day life.
Thank you so much, Dee. The next question, how can this medical virus spread or can be avoided? I think it's about COVID is what I understand this question. How can we prevent this virus spread? Vaccination is the answer that I know. Any other answer that you know better?
I can take this question.
Yes, go ahead.
In war, the biological, it is called, in war situation, the question is highlighting means, I think.
Correct.
In war, that is called biological war, where the where the state or the enemy uses the viruses such as, take an example of COVID viruses, and they will be put in a bomb and they will be thrown in one area so that it gets dispersed into the air, and whatever the persons around that area, they will breathe in that air and the virus get into the human being and that starts the diseases. So there is a convention and that it has been strictly prohibited biological warfare. And recent news was that in Syria they have used, the state only has used against civilians in the civil unrest. So the use of this kind of disease causing organisms in war, it is strictly prohibited. I don't think in near future it will happen. But coming to this communicable diseases as like COVID, they should as it government also said, it is not necessary to afraid of. We have to take protection, and we should be little bit away from that organism. If the COVID is coming, say the next street is there is a COVID patient, we should avoid going to that area so that we will be safe and others also will be safe. And one thing, maintaining the hygiene hygiene of yourself and your surroundings, your school surrounding. If anybody is polluting something, say your playground, your home surroundings, you can just say, don't pollute here, don't put any garbage here, or don't throw anything here. Maybe that is waste bottles or waste medicines. Just ask them to dispose it safely. This is we can do at our levels.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Arun. I think that's fantastic, answer. I think you give a lot of, inputs how we can actually avoid getting infected with various other viruses, right? Thank you so much. Okay, this next question, what are the good uses of tobacco? As we always keep hearing the bad about tobacco. So how does tobacco help in maybe the health related scenarios, Dr. Soumya? So this question is for you. Is Dr. Soumya around? I think this looks like she's having some network issue. How are we progressing in synthetic seeds process as a nation? I think this looks like parent question, but anybody would like to answer this, Dr. Arun? How are we progressing in synthetic seeds process?
Synthetic seeds, I think Soumya madam can help us in this one.
I understand she's having some network issues. She's off. Okay.
Okay.
No problem. I think we'll let us wait for her to come back. Maybe she should be able to help. There's a parent. There's a question from parent actually. How can you develop child and how can give exposure to the child so that he can be a future scientist? I think Srinivasan covered that. Yeah, or anyone of you can answer this.
Yeah, whenever any child asks questions, don't tell them, don't ask. You ask them to go around, particularly they can look at how plant, they can take any seed, put in a water with some soil and see how the plant grows, how somebody asked about the moon and all. Go out and let them explore day to day what is happening, how the plant grows, how the daylight happens, sunlight happens, how rains happen, how rainbow happens. So let them ask questions. Don't stop them from asking, and get them some good books. And instead of playing some music all the time on mobile, let them, you can give them good links where all these educational things are available. What schools are doing is a great job. Let them look into those things that will generate interest. In fact, recently when 1961, when President Kennedy announced we should put man on the moon, it generated a huge, tremendous enthusiasm towards science in America. So next 8 years, they told within a decade we have to put man on moon. So full country was looking forward to that. So here also now, when our Chandrayaan-2 happened, our Prime Minister came and met me also. So full country was like a cricket match. People are watching our own lander land on the moon. In fact, unfortunately, we covered 8 lakh kilometers. Last 500 meters, unfortunately, we did not have a safe landing. Chandrayaan-3 we are doing this year. We are going to have a launch in August, September, and hopefully it will be successful. So ask them to see all these launches. In fact, we have created a launch gallery in Srivastava, and we encourage students to come and see. 50,000 students can come and see a launch live in Srivastava. We also do live telecast on the satellite national channel. Whether it's a failure or success. Now, last 40 years, we have had very few failures. So we are confident that will be successful. Watch them, ask them to see all these launches. I mean, if they're interested in space. And like I told about agriculture, they can put a plant, some bean seed, some kothambari bija, see how things grow. and they will develop interest and can go further.
Yeah,
Thank you
I can add some more, please, if
Yeah,
you permit.
yes, Dr.
Being in a beginning stage of my career, I would like to suggest to the parents, the most important quality should be the child must start to observe, not to see and watch. Observe. There is a difference between observation and watching. So he has to be keen in observations and ask question why it is. Suppose say if you show them the wheat and rice, and they should recognize them why it is brown and why it is white. And the observation starts from the very home, like why we wash hands and why we have to brush. So that questions, if the child start to ask questions, then that is the first sign of the student developing the observation skills. So in the support of that one, the parents also should put some inputs like exposures, and they have to give opportunity for them to do practical things, like sir mentioned about growing the plants. And every day the kids should be asked how many leaves are grown and how much height it has grown from the day 1 to day, suppose day 10, so that they will keep observing how the leaf is opening up. Like that kind of observation, if they keep on doing, then that skills will develop, and definitely that kid will become scientist.
Great. I think that's awesome. Mainly the exposure and now curiosity is what they need to develop. And as I told you already, we conducted this science activities yesterday in 13 schools. Over 1,000 kids participated in this entire event. We also had an online event as well. Those who could not go to school, or maybe those who are outside of Bangalore. So, kids had a lot of fun. They had gala time yesterday. I think we get that opportunity. Yeah. Samya, are you back by any chance?
Audible?
Yes, you're audible. Okay. There are two questions for you. One is, what are the advantages of tobacco?
Okay. Fine. In the beginning, as I was telling, definitely tobacco too has many advantages, especially it has medicinal properties with it. Tobacco, its botanical name is Nicotiana tabacum, what we grow. So there is a content called nicotine in that. That nicotine helps us to address several medicinal issues. This tobacco could be used as laxative, it could be a purgative, expectorant, or a sedative, so many things, okay? But cannot be directly used. It is through processing only. And then it is used as pesticides in agriculture. Some extractant is taken and it is sprayed on the plants to control several pests. And in the leaf, there is a protein. Even that is also extracted. And especially there's heart diseases, and whenever we have leg pain or hands pain, all these things, at that time we go for painkillers, we apply some creams or ointments that will have nicotine content, which will relieve you from pains. Okay. Apart from all these things, very recently we have come out with a study that tobacco seeds contain very good quality edible oil. Means we can put for our upma or poha for preparation of these things, because it has good fatty acids. PUFA is high, so tobacco seeds have good amount of PUFA, and it could be used as an edible oil. So these are all the additional uses of tobacco, apart from being a negatively named crop. Okay, these are some.
Thank you so much. I think that's wonderful to know.
And one more thing I would add. There was a study. The scientists observed that one bird was picking the cigarette butts, what the people throw when they complete the cigarette. That the sponge will be there. The bird was picking those butts and going to the nest. And there they observed that the bird was placing those butts inside the nest, like this one. So then the scientists conducted the experiments, and they came to know that first thing, it was using as a bed material for these hatches, that newborn babies, and whatever the nicotine's content was there in that birds, that was protecting the young ones. Since they don't have feathers on them, they are highly vulnerable to the mites and ticks and other diseases. So this smell, for easy thing, we can take smell. These young ones are protected more than the other babies in the other net. So this can be used as antimicrobial or anti-insecticides also.
Great, awesome. I think that's
whatever when Arun Kumar told that reminded me of one more thing. In fact, lots of people complain about the cars wires being cut by rats. So when I asked a garage person what is the solution, he told one is putting mesh.
Yes, sir.
Second one, somebody told is you put some tobacco in the bonnet. That will drive the rats away. So there's one positive effect of tobacco, which will keep the rats away and it will not allow you to cut the car wires.
Car safe.
Yeah, make it safe.
Thank you so much. I think that's wonderful to know on all the advantages of tobacco. Good. I think the last question that we have is, how are we progressing in synthetic seeds as a nation?
Okay.
Synthetic seed processing.
Synthetic seeds. Okay. Basically for kids, plants are produced both through seeds and vegetative propagation, means by having the cuttings of stem or roots or leaf part, like other than seeds, other parts of the plant are also used for propagation, very specific to those plants only. Not all plants can be grown both the ways. It is not so. So what they do, these vegetative propagation is taken, and that will be capsulated or covered, and it will be made into that like germinating embryo. Means when seeds are given with the proper amount of water and heat and proper condition, like how we get sprouts in the house. Likewise, what here germinating embryo will be capsulated. It will be covered and it will be made into a seed, and it can be easily carried to place. But as a nation, yes, of course, we are to move towards that. We are not reached the stage where we can depend more on this. We are still under research.
Great, awesome. I think that's good to know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to add to whatever Soumya told, I see people normally say, what is the color of rose? People say red. Now you get all kinds of roses. You get white rose, yellow rose, pink rose, different. So similarly, what Soumya was telling is they are doing research. Like they do grafting in plants to have a hybrid plant. Now earlier we have to wait for 7 to 8 years to make a plant yield fruits. Now within 1 year itself, they will be very small pygmy plants. They yield fruits. So like that also on the seed things also they will by knowing the basic structure, by using technology, they're able to synthesize the different things. And like earlier, we are not having this corn seed at all. No, that revelation really revolutionized it. That American corn is grown excessively. So like that, different things are getting developed in the lab. Then they allow it to be grown to make India self-sufficient. So without any dependency on others and a nutritious country.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. I think we have one last question I just got. Why repotting is required in case of tomato and other vegetable plants? I think Dr. Soumya, this is your question, or Dr. Arun? Yeah.
Oh, if plants are grown in pots, definitely repotting is required, but not for tomatoes, because tomatoes complete their life cycle within 4 months. Definitely, once it is planted, it will complete its life cycle within that available soil and whatever the media it is given. Okay, for tomatoes, it is not really required, but for other plants which are grown for aestheticity at home, indoor plants or the outdoor plants which you have kept at home, which are there for longer period, means it's not an annual crop, perennial crops which will be there for many years or more than a year. So those crops require repotting, because the soil with that plant will be tight, like we say it is compacted. Okay, definitely plants require proper aeration, and if that soil near that is made little loose or friable, then the water intake will be good, aeration will be good, and nutrient uptake will be good, because we say roots are the mouth of plant. So that's how plants take food from the roots and water from the roots. Everything will be taken by the roots itself. So there should be proper condition for the roots to grow and absorb all these things. That's why repotting is necessary. And the soil what we have applied in the beginning, that might have got depleted, means all the nutrient might have got over in that, like it has reduced, right? That's why we have to give fresh soil, fresh organic manures to that, so that the plant grows better.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much.
I
think
can
we
add something, but can I put something?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, please.
Suppose Akash is starting a race, suppose 100-meter race. Okay, at the beginning he starts running, and at 10-meter his mother is standing and encouraging her, Akash, Akash. Then he gets again the motivation. He puts all these efforts and run fast. Exactly same is happening when we transplant one plant to from one soil to other. There is a disturbance in the root, and that triggers the physiological activities inside, and roots start growing robustly. So when we plant in the other soil, the root proliferates tremendously and absorbs more water and nutrients, and the plant will be growing more and healthy. So this is one advantage why the transplanting is done in the long duration plants.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Arun. I think with that, we have come to end of this question series on the interaction with the scientist. Dr. Mr. Srinivasan, Ms. Smitha, and Dr. Arun, Dr. Soumya, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you guys in this today evening. And thank you so much for answering all the kids' questions. I'm sure the kids enjoyed a lot. This actually completes our little science stamp event that we had. One was an activity and one was an interaction with the scientist. I thank you from the school on behalf of Skoolz for being part of this particular interaction. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll connect with you separately, and there's a gift awaited for each one of you as a token of appreciation from school point of view. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do the honors. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Really great opportunity. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Srinivasan, for making it happen. And really, it was very nice to hear tiny thoughts asking and encouraged by their parents also. That's very important. So yes, at this age, they're able to ask these questions. So they have a very good future. And I request the parents to encourage them to ask. And I request Mr. Srinivasan to share my email ID. If anybody has any questions, they can mail the questions. I'll be very happy to answer.
Sure.
And we can have a offline session also if possible sometimes, so that I can tell more about satellites, rockets, how
sure,
it
sir.
helps. Thank
we'll
you.
We'll definitely arrange one such session in the future. We have a amazing summer camp coming up for kids. Maybe we're going to invite you for a couple of our offline summer camps and as well, so that you can talk about ISRO journey and satellites as well.
Also, sir, thanks to Soumya, Arun Kumar and Smitha also to occasion to meet them and knowing their contribution in the progress of country. Nice to know all them also.
It's a great pleasure, sir.
Sir, I have one suggestion for parents. So now the kids are consuming the, what you can say, online content, maybe the YouTube content, and they are just seeing the content and enjoying. So what I ask the parent to is to encourage your children to make content. They should not be the consumers of the content. They should be creator of the content. So they will increase their creativity and they will involve in activity, so that the other distractions will be reduced and they will be focused on their work.
That's a great piece of advice, Dr. Arun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one more thing Dr. Arun told. See, people get lots of invitation cards. Once that wedding or ceremony is over, those cards are thrown. I request parents to give them a scissor, not a blade. Ask them to make models. They can make a airplane model, and I can share some cutout of a satellite where they can make a satellite using paper also. Ask them to encourage them to do physical work instead of all the time sitting on mobile or laptop. Let them see what is happening outside, and ask them to make models using these cardboard cards, and do some coloring. Then they will understand all this. They'll get more and more. They'll be curious.
They learned a lot of activities with papers and cards yesterday, through both the online and offline as well. I'm sure they should be able to do. Thank you so much.
Our ISRO also, now we have given the merchandise to private fellows where they make lots of experiments. They can get those things, and instead of giving regular toys, these can be gifted to children, which will make them more interested in science, how airplanes work, how satellites work, everything they can make. Lots of interesting scientific projects are available where they will naturally get oriented towards science.
Thank you so much.
The future of India, voting scientists.
Absolutely. Thank you for all the insights, sir. How ISRO is opening the doors. Good. With this, thank you so much. Anybody have the last words? Otherwise we can close the session. Yes, Agnew, thank you so much for joining. You look so cute. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thanks.
Bye, sir. Bye.
I
Thank you, sir.
request Mr. Srinivasan, you can take a screenshot of all panels so you can, it'll be nice.
Yes, I think it's been already taken. Prasad, were you able to take a screenshot? Dr. Samir, if you can come on the...
There's some problem with my system here. In between struck up.
Prasad, were you able to take a screenshot of all the panelists by any chance?
Yeah, okay, nice. Thank you.
No, we do that. We do those things, very diligently. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.